Hello, hello, hello. Okay, guys, so welcome back to this today's live stream. And if you're uh, hearing anything noise behind my back, then I would like to tell you that nowadays there is Navratri, and because of that, probably you'll hear some sound behind my back. But we will still do our live stream. Okay, let me check it out whether my noise is clear or not. Yep. Also, please let me know in the comment section if you can hear me or not. That would be really helpful. Okay, so I think we can start our live stream today's. So today's live stream is actually again inspired by my Motion Pro membership courses, which is about looping animation in After Effects as well as looping animation in Blender. So let's see what are those first. So if you see over here in my Motion Pro membership, I have already created this looping animation master classes, which consist at least 10 or some more animations. Along with that, I have created some animation in Blender as well, so you can join this membership and you'll get access to all of these videos, which is just for 59 rupees. And as I said earlier as well, it is going to be a lot of support for my channel. So simply click on this join button and join the membership now. So as I said in the title, what we are going to do today is that we will try to create some animation in After Effects, and we will try to create that same animation, same concept in Blender as well. Okay, so obviously because on this channel I upload most of the After Effect tutorials, so we are going to start with that. Okay, so let's try to do it. Okay, so as I said, we will start with this After Effects. So let's create a new composition and we are going to call it as main animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, and duration is 1 minute long. And background color is black color, and simply hit OK. Then I'm gonna go in choose grid and guide option, and we are simply going to hit title selection. Now we need to create some small balls, and it is going to be a black and white. So press Ctrl N, and over here width I'm going to choose 500. Over here choose 500, as well as height choose 500. Okay, and simply hit OK. Then I'm going to go in my shape tools and I'm going to select ellipse. Then go to the fill options and we are going to choose white color and simply hit OK, and simply double click on it, so we will get this white color shape over here. Okay, now after that I want half of the portion should be white and half of the portion should be black. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to go in my shape tool and I'm going to select this rectangle, and over here choose black color for that, and simply double click to create one cube, which is going to fill this entire composition. Then select the shape, press P for position, and let's try to bring this half of the portion over here. Then I'm going to select this ellipse, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, bring this at the top, select this second layer and press F4 to switch between these two options, and we are going to choose alpha mask. Okay, like that. Now let's go to the main animation and press Ctrl Y to create one solid background, and I'm going to choose grayish color over here. Then I'm going to select my comp one, which is basically that ball. Press S for scaling option and let's make this scale 40. Then let's select this and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Press P for position, as well as select this and press P for position. And now let's select this one and let's try to bring this downwards like that. Sorry. Okay. Now Either you can move it from here, or instead of that, what you can do, simply delete it. Select this, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, and by holding Ctrl, I'm going to bring this over here like that. And let's lock this here. Now let's select this, press R for rotation, and let's rotate it on 90 degree like that over here. Now I'm going to select this one over here, hit Ctrl D, and by holding Ctrl, I'm going to bring this over here. Then select all of these three by holding Ctrl D, bring them at the top, and let's try to bring this over here. Zoom in like this. Okay, over here. So now we have enough copies of it. Now we will try to do our animation. Let's select this one which is at the top. Press P for position. Select this position, right click and choose separate dimension. Create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Then I'm gonna go somewhere around, let's say 1.20 frames. Let's select this X position and let's try to bring this over here, and let's try to bring this Y position completely downwards like that. Okay, move over here, and in middle of this I'm going to select this and let's try to bring this totally upward. Okay, then by holding shift, let's try to bring this upward, and we don't need to create keyframes on X-axis, so let's delete it. Select this Y position keyframes and let's hit F9. Then go to the graph editor, select this graph, shift hold and move this handle over here, and let's move this handle over here. Then I'm going to select this one by holding shift, let's move this handle over here, and let's move this handle over here. So now if you see, we will get this kind of bouncing animation over here. Now along with that, there should be some rotation animation. So press R for rotation, create one keyframe at the start, hit U, go over here, and let's make this rotation 1. So if you see, we are gonna get something like this. Now along with that, what I want is that there should be animation for this one as well, and this animation should start somewhere around over here when it's going up, but we will try to do that later. Okay, let's select this one and let's try to bring this after the 6th, I mean before the 6th. Okay, then press P for position, select this, right click and choose separate dimension. Create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Then let's select this, and let's try to bring this totally downward over here. Okay, press V and let's try to bring this over here as well. Similarly, at this point, select this ball and let's try to bring this totally downward. Okay, like that. Now let's go to the start and let's make this fit over here, so we will get something like that. Now same procedure, I'm going to select this and I'm going to select this Y position keyframe of this ball, and I'll hit Ctrl C to copy. I'll select this layer and I'll hit Ctrl V. Then select those Y position keyframes and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph, shift hold, move this handle over here and this over here, this over here, and select this and move this over here. Okay, then go to the start, press R for rotation to create one keyframe, go over here at this point, and we will make this somewhere around, let's say -1 or something like that. So we will get this rotation in opposite direction like that. Now I want this animation should start to get run at this point, so let's select this and hit U, and I'm going to select those keyframes and I'm going to move them over here. So initially I'll get this animation and then I'll get this animation like that. Now let's press Ctrl R to bring our ruler, and I'm going to bring one ruler over here and it should touch this top of this ball like that. Okay, and let's make this fit over here and hit U. Then right click new and create one null object. I'm going to select all of them and I'm going to make it a parent with this null. Then select this null, press P for position to create one keyframe, and then zoom in and hit U over here, and let's go to around last frame which is over here, and let's select this and let's try to bring this somewhere around at this point, and let's hit N over here. So now if I'm gonna see over here, as you can see, we are getting weird animations. The reason is there is not proper rotations over here. For example, if you see over here, this one, if you see rotation, it's 0, and for this one is 90. For this one, it's 0, but for this one, it should be 90. So press R and let's try to make this 90. Okay, and now if you hit play and if you see, we are getting this animation. But still at this point, if you see this one, if you press R, it's 0, but at the end over here, this portion is not like that. So press R and let's make this 0. Okay, similarly this one should be 90. So press R and let's make this 90. Okay, so now if you see this animation from the start, if you see, we are getting this, and then we are gonna get this animation in the form of loop. Now let's see what is the difference between final and last enemy frame. Hit U, go to the last frame, hit U, select this null object, hit U, go to the start, we are getting this, and at the end we are getting this in opposite direction. So let's select this ball, press R for rotation. I think I have did something weird, so let's try to make this 90 over here. And now initial and final frames are same, but if you see, there is some gap between these lines. So let's go over here, and initially it's properly touching and at the end it's not. So let's select this null object and let's try to bring this a little bit upward. Okay, like that. So now let's make this value fit, and now if you are going to see this animation, we will get this animation in the form of loop. Now press Control Alt Y to create one adjustment layer, and you can go to the effect and presets panel, and just like we always do, we can apply tint effect on it. Okay, so let's apply tint, double click to apply, and as you guys know, we can easily swap this color, but we are not going to use it now. Let's select all of this stuff, select all of these compositions as well as to null object, and press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose, and I'm going to call it as animation, and hit OK. Then go inside this and right click and choose trim form to work area. Okay, like that. Now what we are going to do, we will go to the main animation and we will hit O to go at the end of the frame. Let's increase this duration a little bit, then right click time, and we are going to choose time enable remapping, and before the last keyframe I'm going to create one keyframe, and then I'm going to delete this last keyframe. Then I'll alt click on the stopwatch and I'm going to search for time, not time, but I think loop out expression over here. Select this loop out expression and let's deselect it. So if you see, we are gonna get something like that continuously. Then I'm going to select this adjustment layer and I'm going to swap this color. Okay, now my animation is in the form of loop at this point over here. So we need to just check it out, where is my animation is going to form in the loop again. So let's go few frames forward, and I think somewhere around at this point over here, at this point, this is going to be in the form of loop again. So I'll hit N over here. Okay, so if you see this now, up to 10 seconds, I'll get this animation like that. And then this animation is going to be in the form of loop after this frame. Now let's select this layer over here, and now we need to create mask over here. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my ellipse tool, and by holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse. Press Ctrl Alt Home, go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Select this adjustment layer and press F4 and choose alpha mask. Okay, then go to the start, select this shape layer, press S. Initially let's make this value 0 and create one keyframe. Then go somewhere around at this point and let's increase the size of this. Similarly, I'm going to select this adjustment layer, and by holding shift I'm going to select the shape layer. I'll hit Ctrl D to bring them at the top, and with the help of open square bracket I'm going to bring them over here. Now hit U again, and we have to make sure that our last keyframe is at this point. So now if you see, and go to the start, and if you see, we are gonna get this kind of animation over here up to this. and then at this point again we are gonna get same animation over here like that. And now if you want to go a little bit more, simply again create one adjustment layer over here and apply tint effect on it, and you can swap this color. Then let's select this and go to the start, press P for position, and let's try to bring this over here like that. Create one keyframe at position, then go to the end over here and let's try to bring this from here to here, and it should go out of this composition over here. So now if you see this animation, we are gonna get something like that over here, like this. And if you want, then you can bring this up to 5 seconds over here. Select this, hit Ctrl D, and let's move this over here with the help of open square bracket. Hit U and select this last keyframe and let's move this over here. So what will happen because of this, we will get this animation a little bit faster like that. And this animation again going to be in the form of loop. And let's try to bring this over here like that. And let's move this over here. Okay, so now as you guys can see, we are gonna get this kind of animation. Okay, like that. Again, if you want to go a little bit more depth and you want to play around with this one as well, you can select this both layers, press Ctrl Shift C, and you can name it as adjustments. Okay, press F4 and make sure to click on this icon. Then you will get this adjustment layer on this whole line. Then select this adjustment layer, hit Ctrl D, press R, and if you rotate it on 90 degree like that, and if you see this now, we are gonna get something like this. And if you press S, unlink this, and you can scale it the way you want like that. So now if you see this animation, we are gonna get this kind of weird stuff over here like that. But as you guys can see, even after doing a lot of stuff, this animation is still in the form of loop. Okay, so this is how you can create this kind of sorted complex kind of logo, not logo, but looping animation. Okay, so as you guys can see, with the help of simple tips and tricks, we can create this kind of complex looping animation over here. Okay, simply just with the help of this adjustment layer tricks. So I'm going to save this file and I'm going to call it as loop1. And after the stream ends, I'll provide the link of this file in the description. You can simply download it from there. Okay, and check it out. And I would recommend to try to watch the stream again and try to do it by yourself. Okay, then that would be helpful and it would be a good practice. Okay, and another thing, if you again add new adjustment layer and apply tint effect on it, and then over here you can change their colors, like you can choose red color over here and you can swap this color as well. You are gonna get same results. Okay, you can play around with the multiple colors like this, and as you guys can see, we will get this kind of animations over here. Okay, like that. Okay, so now this is how you can create this kind of animation in After Effects. Now we will try to learn how we can create this kind of animation in Blender. Obviously we are not going to apply this tint effect and all, because for that obviously we need to use After Effects, but we are going to figure it out that how we can achieve this balling animation in Blender. Okay, so now let's try to do this in Blender. So let's open the Blender over here and let's hit A and let's delete all of this. Now press Shift A and I'm going to choose Mesh and I'm going to choose UV Sphere, right click and choose Shade Smooth. Then let's select this and press Tab to go to the edit mode, press 7, Alt Z to go to the X-ray mode, and I'm going to select this much area like that over here. And let's go to the material, new material, assign. Let's double click and let's call this as white. Okay, then go to the select and choose invert. If it's not selecting invert portions, simply select this much area like that. Create a new material, new, double click over here and let's call it as blue and choose assign, and over here choose blue color over here. Okay, and press tab, alt z and choose material preview. So we are getting this kind of object. Then select this, press 1, Shift D, Z, and by holding Control, let's bring this over here. Okay, so this is going to be sphere 1. Then go to the object menu and let's try to rotate it on Z axis, and let's make this 90-degree rotation like that. Okay, so now we are gonna get something like this. Now we need to create animation for this ones. Okay, so what I'm gonna do before doing any animations, I'm going to select this two. I'm going to press Shift D, Z, and by holding Control, I'm going to try to bring this over here. Again, Shift D, Z, and by holding Control, I'm going to try to bring this over here. Shift D, Z, and Control, and try to bring this over here like that. Now we will try to animate this stuff. Now let's select this portion over here, and what we are going to do over here is that we need to animate it on this x-axis, so we can move this from here to here. So let's try to do it. And initially let's make this 0, and let's create one keyframe at x, and somewhere around at 40 frame I'm going to move this from x-axis towards somewhere around over here. So press G for transform, then X to rotate, move this on x-axis, and by holding Control I'm going to bring this up to 8 units for millimeter and create one keyframe at over here. Then go to the start over here, and one thing I forgot to tell you that in Blender this animation start from 1, but we want our animation to start from 0. So start frame, choose 0, then go to the 0, select this, and let's try to bring this over here. Then select this, create one keyframe at Z, then go somewhere around over here like that, somewhere around at 20 frame. Let's make this value a little bit upward to 8, or let's choose to 6 to create another keyframe. Then go to around 40. Let's make this value downward, and let's make this -9 value and create another keyframe. Okay, then go to the start, and let's move this from here to here. But if you see over here, this animation looks weird because this portion is going downwards very quickly. So now what we can do, let's go to the graph editor and let's try to increase this graph. Open this graph, object transform, and let's choose Z location, Z location. We will select this one and press G, X, and try to move this up to 60 frames. Similarly, I'll select this X location, select this much over here, G, X, and try to bring this up to 60. Then select this Z location, select all of this portion and press T and choose Bezier. Select this area, press S for scaling, then X for X-axis, and let's choose 0 value and hit enter. Similarly, select this, press S, X, and 0 and hit enter. Then select this, press S, X, and try to increase the scale. So if you see this animation from the start, and if I hit shift spacebar, I'll get this kind of animation over here. Okay, now what I want to do, there should be some rotation animation over here as well, and it should rotate on x-axis. So let's create one keyframe at x, then go to around 60, and let's make this value 360 star into 3 and create one keyframe over here. So what will happen along with this, I'm gonna get this kind of rotation animation. Then somewhere around at 20 frame, what I want that this should get animated on this portion over here. So let's try to do it again. Let's select this. We will create one keyframe at X over here. And in this animation, we took somewhere up to 60. So we need to add 80 frames over here. So let's select this portion. I have created one keyframe at X. Then we need animation up to 80 frames. So let's make this value 8. Not on x-axis because we need to move it on y-axis. Then initially we took animation up to 8, so let's select this portion. I'll go to 20 frame. Let's clear keyframe on x-axis. We need to move it on y-axis, so let's create one keyframe at y, go to 80, let's make this value 8, create one keyframe. Okay, similarly go to the start, create one keyframe at Z, at 20 frame. Over here, create one keyframe at Z, then go around 40 frame and let's make this value 5. Create one keyframe, then go to around 80 and let's make this value -8 over here. Or you can go to the one view, or I think -8, or let's say -9. Okay, and create another keyframe. Okay, so if you see, we are getting this kind of animation. Okay, like that. Now let's select this, go to this option, object transform, select this Z location, select this and press T for Bezier curve. Select this just like our previous keyframes. We are going to do S, X and choose 0 and create one keyframe. Then select this, press S, X and choose 0 and create another keyframe. Then select this, press S, X and increase the scale of this. So if you hit shift spacebar now, we are gonna get same animation but in opposite direction. Now what we want is that there should be some rotation on this x-axis. So let's create one keyframe, then go to around 80 frame. I'm going to make this 360 star 3 value, and we are going to make sure that it should be a negative value and create another keyframe. So now let's make this timeline and check it out. At this point we will get this animation, and this animation is ending at 80. So end frame I'm going to choose 80. Okay, now press 1, then go to the start over here, and now we need to add our camera, and there should be someone should control that camera. So for that I'm going to press shift A and I'm going to choose empty and I'm going to choose plane axis, then press G Z, and by holding control I'm going to bring this null object at the center of this ball. Then let's select this null object and we will create one keyframe at Z, then go to around 80 frame, then press GZ, and by holding control I'm going to bring this null object at the center of this ball and create another keyframe. So what will happen is that this null object is going to move over here. Now it's time to add our camera in this scene. So press shift A, go to the camera, hit 0 and then hit N over here, so we can go to the view options and we can choose camera to view. Then select this camera to view and let's zoom out a little bit. Then go to the data and we are going to choose 150 value. Zoom out a little bit again, and let's try to bring this portion over here like that. Zoom out like this. Okay, you can adjust your camera like that. Then select this empty first, then select this camera, then press Ctrl P and choose object. But as you guys can see, it is happening in reverse. So let's select this camera first, and then by holding shift select this empty, press Ctrl P and choose object. Again select this empty, select this camera, press Ctrl P. I don't know why this thing is happening to me. Okay, so now this empty is parent with camera. Okay, select this camera first, then select by holding control, select this empty, press Ctrl P and choose object. Okay, so now what will happen, our camera is gonna move along with our empty like that, and we need to check it out where our initial and final frame is same or not. It's same, but this ball is not going out of the camera. So what we can do over here, either you can zoom your camera or you can move this over here like that, and let's disable this camera to view, zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to select this ball and go to the object properties, and we can move this z-axis a little bit and create another keyframe. So now if you see this animation, first we will get this and then we will get this. Okay, let's go to the start. This is initial frame and this is final frame. Okay, like that, both of them are same. Now we need to add our lights to it, so press shift A, go to the light and choose area light, then press S for scaling option and scale it like that. Then okay, then press 1, Press S and let's increase the scale. Press G, Z, and let's try to bring this over here. Then press R for rotation and let's rotate it like this. Okay guys, so I got one question finally. It's by Money Morne or Manit Morne. Sorry, sorry, buddy, but if I'm not pronouncing your name properly. But he has asked me this question that, hey, was just curious, have you recently switched to Blender or have been using it for a long time? I'm not gonna say that I'm using it for a long time, but I just like to play around with Blender for a while because I personally think that this software is very useful when it comes to motion graphics. And first thing is free, and it's kind of easy, not completely easy, but when it comes to motion graphics like geometry nodes and other stuff, it's very handy to use. And before this software I used to work in Cinema 4D for my motion graphics. Even now sometimes I use Cinema 4D, but currently I'm trying to learn Blender and trying to learn new things in Blender. Obviously it's not easy, and I don't have that much time, but I tried my best to do as much as I can, and whatever I learn I love to share that knowledge with you guys. So yep, I'm using it, but it's not like that I'm just focusing on Blender and I'm not going to do After Effects or something. No, because I love to use After Effects even in my job and in my daily life. I use After Effects. So yeah, thank you so much. Okay, then second one, it's Snehit Paramarthi. What is a Motion Pro membership? Okay, so Motion Pro membership is that whatever I try to teach on After Effects on my channel, I try to do a little bit more and in-depth tutorials on Motion Pro membership, or you can say something which is requires a lot of attention and lot of details. I try to cover it in Motion Pro membership. It's like a courses only. And the second thing is that it's kind of a help for my channel to grow, okay, and to, you know, to get some motivation from you guys. And over there as well, I try to do my best to, indicate much more knowledge about my After Effect and specifically breakdown. I'm going to try to create some more advanced tutorials like full motion graphic workflow about my motion graphic videos, probably storyboarding, etc, etc. So yep, this is Motion Pro membership, and you'll get access to project files as well if I'm gonna do create that kind of animations. Okay, and as I said that it would be helpful for my channel. Okay, so thank you so much guys for asking these questions. Now I have to continue this tutorial, so let's try to. Yes guys, you can ask me whatever questions I want over in the comment sections. And thank you for watching this stream. I wasn't expecting this. Okay, there is another question by Mani Morne. Is your YouTube your primary source of income, or do you work freelance as well? I was wondering if easy to get job from just typography or more skill set is also required. Thank you. No, YouTube is not my primary source of income. I do job, I do freelancing work as well. And this is the answer of your first question, because just by YouTube you cannot learn so many things. But you need to work in a battlefield. Uh, so you can face some challenges and you will get the idea that how in real life you will get work and how to tackle with those challenges. And the second thing is that wondering if it is easier to get job just typography or more skill set is also required. It's not just about typography. You need to learn a lot of things. Like when it comes to motion graphic, typography is a part of motion graphics. It's not completely motion graphics, but it is a skill set that you require to create some title animations or to create some more advanced things over here. So as I said, typography, for example, if you're watching any tutorial, for example, I'm teaching typographic tutorials, so it's not just about that typographic effect or what outcome it's gonna we will get at the end. But that process requires so much attention to details. That process itself tells you so much things about the software. Like when you do typography, you're not going to only use text animation, because this is not just a graphic designs. You're going to learn how to adjust the text, you are going to learn different effects, and then you can understand that what particular effect do what kind of thing. Then you can use that effect for other things as well, and for probably you can use that same effect which you has been using for typography, you can use that for logo animation, or you can use that effect for video editing as well. So typography is just a medium to show you how different effects can do different things in After Effects. Just like when I teach you looping animation, for example this one, it's not just about creating this ball looping animation and etc. It's about to use that knowledge of our software to utilize it in different formats of motion graphics. So this is the answer of your second questions. And as I said, this is not just a skill set or required for job. You have to learn so many things about it. But yeah, you can start with the typography, because sometimes what happens is that when I started my career as a motion graphic artist, I used to do typographic tutorials, or used to learn typography, and that thing motivates me, because first thing, typographic animations are a little bit easy as compared to some other animations, and they are kind of a cool, and in any video editing, typography is very required. So that would be a base for your motion graphic journey. So another one asked me, bro, you are a Tamil or what? No guys, I'm a Maharashtrian, I'm Marathi. Okay, so yep, that's, I hope that answers are enough for you. If it's not, then I'm extremely sorry for that, but this is what I told you according to my understanding about this field and motion graphics. Okay. Okay guys, so let's try to you know watch about my tutorials. So as I said that I have created this light. Also, if you guys are getting some noise from behind, then I'm extremely sorry for that. I want to thank you for all the content that you made and followed a lot of tutorials to learn AI. Just like you said, I learned a lot of techniques from this. Thank you so much, guys. It means a lot to me. Okay, so let's try to focus on our video now. So I have this light over here, and press S, and let's increase the scale. Okay, then let's go and let's adjust it, and press G, and let's move this over here. Press 1, press R, and let's rotate it like this. G, and let's move this over here. Then press 7, press R, and let's rotate it like this. G, and let's move this over here like that. Okay, and hit 0, press Z and choose the render view, and let's go to the render settings and make sure that we are in EV. Go to the data of this light, and let's change this light to somewhere around like this. Then I'm going to select this light, go to the top, shift D, and let's try to move this over here. Press R, and let's rotate it like this. G, and let's move this over here and hit 0. And let's try to increase. I'll add 1 0 to this light, or instead of that, select this, and let's make this value to somewhere around 5. Okay, or I think this is too much, so let's make this 2 only. Okay, so now if you see, we are getting this kind of animation, but obviously this light should move along with our camera. So I'm going to select these two lines, and then I'll select this empty, and let's try to press Ctrl D and choose object. So now all of those lights are also parent with this empty, and now if I hit play, those lights are also going to move with this one, and I'm going to get that animation in the form of loop again. So initial and final frames are same, and if I check it out, this animation in cycles, I'm gonna get something like this. Now I'll press Shift A, and I'm going to choose mesh, and I'll add plane, and I'll increase the size of the plane. So let's go to the top, press S, and let's increase the size too much, a little bit like that, and hit 0. Then press G, Z, and by holding Control, I'm going to try to bring this totally downwards. Then select this plane, and by holding Control, select this empty, and press Control P to select object. Then I'm going to select this plane over here. go to the material, and I'm going to apply new material over here, and let's change the color of this one to black. Okay, so now if you see, we are gonna get this kind of animation, and it is going to be in the form of loop completely. So as you guys can see, this is how we can, okay, so we will get this kind of animation over here. Okay, so there is another person asked, no Hikama, please your course Udemy Indonesian activates. I uploaded courses on Udemy. I don't know how to activate on a particular area. Usually, according to my understanding, they are for everywhere. And if it's not, then I would recommend you to join my membership over here. I upload tutorials and courses over there as well. If it's not on Udemy, you can join it over here as well. I upload my courses on YouTube membership as well. And as I said, it's gonna be support for my channel as well. So you can join my membership. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have created this animation over here like that. Okay, so this is how we can create this kind of animation in Blender as well as in After Effects. Okay, so I'll save this file, and I'll send this animation link in the description, so you can download those project files from there, and then you can do it by yourself. Now if you go in After Effects, we have created this kind of animation over here. Okay, now I'm going to create another looping animation, and that animation only going to be in After Effects, because our channel mostly focus on After Effects. Okay, and I don't know how to create that in Blender. Okay, so let's try to do it. Over here only I'm going to create it. So let's Control N, and let's make this value 1920 by 1080, and hit OK. Go to choose grid and guide option, and make sure to hit title save action like that. And over here I'm going to add my text tool over here, because this is going to be a typography animation. So let's type our text. I'm going to type motion. Okay, like this. Select this text, press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the Align tab, align it horizontally, and then align it vertically. Press S for scaling option, scale the size of this text, and let's make this value full. Okay, and this is going to be my reference text. So let's select this text, go to the character menu, and let's reduce the size between this text and change the color of this one to red, and hit OK. And let's lock this layer. Again, I'm going to select my text tool, and I'm going to type M, and I'm going to change the color of this to white. Select this, press S, and let's just like this, I'm going to change the size to 406. Then press Ctrl Alt O, align tab, align horizontally, align vertically, press V and zoom in, and let's try to move this portion over here. Then hit Ctrl D to duplicate. Let's move this over here. Choose our text tool, and I'm going to type over here, and let's select this selection, and let's try to move this over here. Okay, like that. Hit Ctrl D. Let's move this over here. Hit Ctrl T. Okay, just like that. Then hit Ctrl D to duplicate. Let's move this over here, and let's change the text to I over here like this. Then hit Ctrl D. Let's move this over here and change this text to O like that, and press Ctrl Alt O, and let's try to move this over here like that. Then hit Ctrl D. Let's move this over here. Let's try to change the text to M. Okay, like that. Now our text is ready, and let's hide this portion. Now we need to create animation for our text. Okay, so let's try to do it, and we are going to create a stroke animation over there. Okay, so for that, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to select my pen tool. Then from here to basically we need to cover this text. So let's select this text, create one keyframe on stroke. Then by holding shift, say create one keyframe over here, one keyframe over here, one point over here and one point over here, like that, and change this to this one. Or instead of that, let's do one thing. We will create some different because it will take a lot of time. Okay, what we can do is that I'm going to select this M, except this I. We don't need this I over here, so let's bring this at the top and let's hide this. Select both of all of these layers, press P for position, select the respective positions by holding Control, right click and choose separate dimension. Okay, create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Then I'm gonna go somewhere around 3 seconds and I'll create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Go to the start, go to the align tab, align it horizontally and change the X position over here. Then go to around 1 second, create one keyframe at Y, around 2 seconds, create one keyframe at Y. And in middle, I'm going to change the Y position somewhere around over here. Similarly, in the middle, I'm going to change the Y position somewhere around over here, like this. Similarly, in the middle, I'm going to change the Y position somewhere around over here, like that. Okay, then in search option, I'm going to search for Y. Select this Y position keyframes and hit F9. Then go to the graph editor, zoom in, go to the start, select this by holding shift, move this handle over here and this over here, select this, move this over here, move this over here, select this, move this over here and move this handle over here. Then select this, move this portion over here, 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 and move this portion over here. So if you see this now, we will get this kind of animation. Now I'll press R for rotation to create one keyframe, hit U, and somewhere around at this point, because this animation is up to 3 seconds, I'm going to make it -3. Okay, so if you see this animation, we are going to get something like that. Okay, but this animation is very slow, so I'm going to select all of these layers and by holding Alt, I'm going to bring them up to 2 seconds. Okay, like that. Now this animation should be one by one, so I'm going to take a distance of 10 frames for each, and I'll try to adjust these lines like that. Okay, so we will get something like that. If you want, then you can take a distance of 5 frames as well, because that would be awesome, like that. Okay, so if you see this animation now, we will get something like that. Then select all of these layers and make sure to choose motion blur, like this. We are getting something like that. Now what we can do is that I'm going to select this eye over here like this, and I'm going to press Y, and let's try to bring this anchor point at the bottom. Then at this point over here, when all of this ends, let's select this eye and let's move this over here. Press P for position, create one keyframe at the start over here, then go somewhere around at 4 seconds, create another keyframe. Then in middle over here, I'm going to bring this at the top, then go few frames forward, again create another keyframe, and in the middle, I'm going to move this a little bit upward. Then select those keyframes, hit F9, go to the graph editor, zoom in. Let's select this graph by holding Control, move this handle over here and move this handle over here. Select this and move this handle over here. Select this and move this handle over here. Zoom in, select this, move this handle over here by holding Shift. Select this, move this handle over here. Select this, move this handle over here. Select this and move this handle over here. Select this and move this handle over here, like that. So if you check it out, this animation now, we will get something like this. Now let's select this, press S, create one keyframe, hit E, go few frame forward, and let's make this value unlink and create another keyframe. Then go to the start and let's make this value 0. Select those keyframe and let's hit F9. So we'll get something like that. Now I want rotation animation over here as well, but if you press R and if you check it out, this animation is rotating from here. So if you go to the effect and presets transform, and you can apply transform effect on this one over here, distort transform, and if you rotate it from here as here because of the anchor point. So let's select this anchor point and let's try to adjust this anchor point somewhere around over here. Still we are not going to get that effect. Okay, so to whenever this kind of situation happens, what you can do over here is that you can use the null object over here. For example, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this I and I'll hit Control D to duplicate it, hit U over here, and let's go to somewhere around at the end. And this I, which is if you enable this, I'm going to use this one as a parent. So let's select this I2 and we are going to delete all the keyframes over here on position as well as scale. I'm going to select this I2 and make sure that you are at the end of those keyframes. Okay, and at this point I'm going to make it a parent with this I over here. Okay, like that. And I'm going to select this I and I'm going to press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center like that. Okay, so now if you see, we will get something like that. And I'll hide this I over here, and now I'm going to select this I. I'll press R for rotation to create one keyframe. I'll go somewhere around over here and I'm going to make this one complete rotation. So now if you see, I'm going to get something like that, and I'm going to select those keyframe and I'm going to hit F9 now. Then I'll go to the graph editor. I'll select this graph by holding shift. I'll move this handle over here and I'm going to move this handle over here. Okay, so if you check it out, this animation now, I'll get something like this. So if you see this animation now, first I'm gonna get this animation, then I'll get this. Then after this, what I want that this eye should erase all of this. So what I'm gonna do, I'll select this and I'll press Y for anchor point mover, and I'm going to select this and I'll press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer like that. Then hit U and we will delete all the keyframes that we have on this one. And I'm going to select this, hit enter, and I'll call it as fill. Okay, then let's try to adjust this. Select this and press Y and simply move this anchor point over here like that. Then press S, create one keyframe, go few frame forward. Let's make this value somewhere up to this over here like that. Similarly, increase the size from here as well like that. Select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Okay, so we will get something like this over here. Let's increase the size up to this one. If you want, press T just so you can see the reference whether it's covering or not. Hit U and let's increase the size up to this. Okay, then I'm going to select this fill. I'll hit Ctrl Shift D to split this layer, hit U and let's delete those keyframe. Then I'm going to select this fill tool. I'll select this anchor point and by holding Control I'm going to bring this over here, then create one keyframe at scale, then go somewhere around over here and let's adjust the size of this one to 106. Okay, select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Okay, like that. So at this point it's moving over here. Then select those keyframes over here and let's hit F9. Then go to the graph editor, select this graph, shift hold, move one handle point over here and move one handle over here. So we will get something like this. Then press T and let's increase the scale over here like that. So we will get something like this. Okay, now this animation is starting very early, so let's select these portions, press V and let's try to bring them up to this, and let's select this and let's move this over here. Okay, like that. Okay, now select this, hit U, let's go to the start, and initially scale should be 100, so it would be easy for us like that. So if you see this now, we'll get this, and then it's increasing. Okay, like that. Now when this portion is covering this motion, what I want is that there should be uh, no text after this. So I'm going to select MOT and I'll press Alt close square bracket to trim up to this. Okay, like that. So if you see this animation now, we'll get something like this and like that. And let's make this fit. Now hit U, press Ctrl Y, and let's choose black color solid and try to bring this downwards. Then select all of this and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift C and I'm going to call it as black. Okay, the reason why I said this black, because let's see, we have this animation and then this animation and then this animation and then this. Now I'm going to go in my effect and presets panel and I'm going to search for CC split and double click to apply. And when I'm going to increase the split value, I'll get something like that. Now behind this, what I'm going to do, first of open this, hit Ctrl K and I'll change the spelling. Okay, then go to the comp 2. Over here we have this animation and then this and then this. Then hit U, not U, but somewhere around at 6 seconds over here. I'll create one keyframe on point A and point B, and their position should be 960, which is at the center, and 960, which is over here. And split value, choose 400 and hit U, and let's go to around 8 seconds and let's choose this value to move somewhere around over here, and this value should be gone somewhere around over here. Then press Ctrl Y and choose white color solid background and try to bring this downwards like that. Then select this point A and let's try to bring this totally over here and try to bring this totally over here, and select those keyframe and let's hit F9. So we will get something like this. Now let's select this value and let's change this split value to 200 or even let's say 150. Okay, then animation would be a little bit smoother over here like that. If you want, then you can move a little bit longer, but you can choose up to 100 as well and try to bring this over here and try to bring this over here like that. Right? Okay, like this. Now let's select this, go to the effect and presets panel and search for drop shadow and double click to apply, and let's increase the, 1 second guys. Okay, now let's select this, go to the graph editor, select this graph, by holding shift move this handle over here and move this handle over here. Okay, like that. So we will get this kind of stuff, and select this point B and I'll try to bring this a little bit over here like this. So we'll get one from here and one from here like that. So first we will get this animation and then we will get this animation like that. Okay, now I'm going to select this black, right click, reveal layer in source project, select this black and hit Ctrl D, double click to open this, hit Ctrl K and we are going to choose white. Then I'm going to right click new and create one adjustment layer, go to the effect and presets panel and search for tint effect and double click to apply and swap these colors. Now let's go to the comp, hit Ctrl 0 and bring this white over here. Now hit U, but let's go to the start and we have this white and black over here. Go to around 6 seconds. I'll select this black layer. Let's go to the effect and presets panel, and let's delete the drop shadow for now. Select this split, hit Ctrl C, select this white and hit Ctrl V and hit U over here. So we can see those portions over here. Now with the help of open square bracket, I'll make sure that I am at 6 seconds, and with the help of open square bracket, move this over here. So what will happen is that we will get those animations over here like that. Okay, then I'm going to select this black layer again, hit Ctrl D and try to bring this over here, hit U. Let's go over here, and with the help of open square bracket, I'm going to bring this over here, over like that. So we will get this portions over here. Now let's go over here, hit I to go over here and hit B over here. Then we will get this, and then we will get this. Now at the end over here, we want this animation as well. Then go at this point, hit N over here. So now if you see, we will get this animation like that, like this. Okay, so from this point we are going to get same animation in the form of loop. Now we need just to add drop shadow. So let's select this, we go to the effect and presets panel and search for drop shadow effect and double click to apply. Increase the softness like that. Okay, over here, then select this drop shadow, hit Ctrl C, select this layer and hit Ctrl V and change the color of this one to white. Okay, so now we will get that white color drop shadow effect over there. Okay, like this. So as you guys can see how we can create this kind, and go inside this black, select all of them and enable the motion blur for all layers. Okay, then we will get that proper look for this animation. Okay, so that's it for the today's stream, guys. Thank you for watching, and I would provide all the files link in the description. You can download and practice along with them. Also, don't forget to join my Motion Pro membership. I have also already uploaded so many advanced tutorials like looping, animation, etc., etc. Similarly, this kind of motion graphic which is contains cinema 4D knowledge, and so many blend like geometry nodes, logo animations, Google logo animations, and this complex motion graphics series as well. And as I said, that it would be a support for my channel as well, and you can join my Udemy more courses as well, so you can learn some more things in depth. Okay, so that's it for today's stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for watching this stream, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. So thank you so much. Until next time, we'll meet again.